Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Middle-Aged Gamer Guy here, back with another TNGC. That's right, Tuesday Night Gaming Chat, where we discuss everything that's new, the games out this week for all platforms, and all the latest news stories that have happened in the last 7 days. Now, something a bit different this week. Unfortunately, Dave couldn't be here. He got a phone call, and he's had to basically go and work. So if he is watching this while he's working, hello, Dave. But with me, and at very short notice, and bless him for standing in, is, you know him as Captain Chris. He is our stand-in co-host for this. And please welcome Mr. Chris Davis. How you doing, Chris?
Good evening, everybody. Hi, how's it going?
Good. Thank you so much for hopping in literally at, like, what was it, 5 o'clock I confirmed this, I think?
Yeah, it's all right.
Thank you.
I had to rush home from work, quickly have a dinner, and get the batteries ready for the old laptop.
Yeah. Right, get the gerbil on the wheel, make the power running.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going mental in the other room.
Oh, good man. So what have you been playing? Now, normally, like, I know you've been playing Sea of Thieves because obviously we had to do this. Right. What else have you been playing apart from Sea of Thieves? Like, what do we not see you play?
I've been playing Forza quite a bit. I'm trying to complete Forza, get every single trophy and all the different classes. And what else have I been playing? Oh, Madden, because the last year's Madden has just gone on to the EA.
It has, hasn't it? Yeah.
EA Pass. So yeah, I've just downloaded that and started going through the season in Madden. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. You love your American football, don't you? Yeah.
Just a bit, yeah.
Yeah, that literally was the back end of last week that landed, didn't it? And it was
exactly. Yeah, I went to download it, but then I had to download a certain game that's for what is it, 86
gigabyte. Yeah, I know, that was my fault. Friday night Battlefield. Yeah, no, my fault. Sorry. I just want to say hello to a couple of people in the chat already. Hello, Tunes. Hello, Mia. And Professor Storks here. Hello, but under a new name called Milk Oracle. So I'm just going to call you Professor Milk Oracle. There you go. That kind of works. And thank you. Yeah, the studio's it'll look even better when it's finished. But it's not looking too shabby. Not looking too shabby.
My battery's running out on the light, isn't it?
What's that?
A new battery for my light that I gave you.
It is. I need to replace it. It literally lasted about 2 seconds, but I'll get a new one. At the weekend get the screwdriver out. Yeah. I know that sign, which you can't see, but is really awesome, is courtesy of Mr. Chris Davis, who's our guest co-host. I'm going to have to get used to saying this, but there you go. Oh, thank you for this is really weird. It's like, thank you for the follow, Professor, even though you follow me, but I'm going to say thank you, Milk Oracle. So there you go. It's so weird, but there you go. Should we bring our guest in this week?
Yes.
Awesome. Right. So we had on the show, funnily enough, Professor Milk Oracle going back probably about just over 5 weeks ago. And I've been watching some of her shows and got to know a guy called King of Queens. And then he's been watching the show. He was watching when Professor was there and vice versa and bounced back and forth. He's a Twitch streamer, was a Trovo streamer as well. I would like to introduce to the show tonight is King of Queens. How you doing?
What's up, everybody? I'm good.
Good. Thank you so much for being here. Again, just to tell the audience, King was actually supposed to be on in a couple of weeks' time. And then I had to move a few guests around and King was like, yeah, I'll do it. It's cool. So tonight's been just, I'm going to say organised chaos, but in a beautiful way. So it's all good. But thank you so much for being on the show and joining in. So tell us what kind of games you've been playing over the last couple of weeks and stuff, and what you've been streaming.
I mostly stream Genshin Impact. I pride myself on being the strongest North American server player on Genshin Impact. Nice. So I make it my duty to hold that rank and play that daily. But I also stream Valorant. I've been doing a lot of Fortnite the last week as well. I do also do some Apex every now and again, but mostly it's just been Valorant and Genshin Impact for the most part.
How are you finding Valorant? Because obviously, literally in the last 2 weeks, that's the big game that everyone, because that's in early access at the moment, isn't it? Everyone's kind of hyped about that at the moment.
I mean, I tried it like late last year and I got into it.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have like a full team to play with, so I got kind of bored of it because it felt to me kind of like Overwatch, but I couldn't really play it with a controller, so I wasn't really used to it. So I stopped, and then I ended up meeting this other streamer who's really into it, and she had friends that play it. So now every week, like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we always play Valorant. So I've really gotten into it over the course of the past month. I've gotten used to it, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking the way that they went with Valorant.
Okay, it'd be good to see how that pans out then over the next couple of months with that game, I suppose. I think because there's been a lot of buzz about it over the last couple of weeks, especially. I noticed Professor says, I knew you were going to say about this, but that had to come up, didn't it? That had to come up. So that's an in joke.
About this earlier.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later, but not in the way you think, Professor. So don't worry. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. So let's crack on with the show. Again, King, thank you so much for being here. I'll give you another shout. If you want to follow King on Twitch, there is his channel. Go give him a follow. Go check him out. Any particular times you stream, or is your schedule up on the page?
Yeah, normally it's up on my page, but I don't really abide by it anymore because I used to do Trovo and Twitch, but I kind of dropped Trovo and I mostly do Twitch now. So I start a lot earlier than it says on that time. So I got to go ahead and fix that at some point. But I stream almost every day anyway. So
cool. Well, give him a follow, and then you'll get the notification that he's live, and then you can go check out his streams. Right, we're going to crack on. We have got 7 new games this week. It's very PC heavy this week. We're going to be talking about 7 new games that have come out since last Wednesday and up until literally today. Plus, we've got the latest news, and we're also going to do a bit of a section dedicated to PlayStation because 2 weeks ago, we couldn't fit it in the show last week. PlayStation did their State of Play event talking about all the new games that were coming out for PS5. And it wasn't what people thought. And we'll talk about that a bit later on. But also, in the last couple of days, they've announced a couple of games coming out for PSVR. So for anyone who loves PC and PlayStation, you're in the right place. For people on Switch and Xbox, you may find yourself a little bit left out this week. But don't worry, we try and cover everything. But as I say that, the first game we're going to talk about tonight isn't technically a new game. It came out on PC 2 years ago, came out on Xbox and PlayStation this time last year, but they've given it a reboot. And basically, you can get all the extra content, all the DLCs, all included. And for the first time, it's coming on to Nintendo Switch. This came out on Friday. I absolutely love this game. And I still have to question why the fact I haven't streamed it yet. But this is 2 Point Hospital. And this is the Jumbo Edition. We're going to play the trailer. Have a look at the trailer, see what you think. And then see if you can guess what score the reviewers gave this on the day of release. But we'll check out the trailer. We'll discuss the game. But get in the chat. Tell us what you think of this. And we'll be right back very shortly. Here we go.
Welcome to 2 Point Hospital Jumbo Edition. Of course, 2 Point Hospital Jumbo Edition comes absolutely jam-packed with a game that you know and love. The game that lets you manage a hospital, that lets you diagnose and treat your patients, that lets you decorate to your heart's content. But it also comes with much, much more. That's right, Jumbo means lots. Lots of content. Like the Bigfoot, Pebbly Island, Close Encounters, and off-the-grid expansions. Champion! There's more hospital content than you can shake a stick at. Trust me, I've tried. So, 2 Point Hospital, anyone? Make mine Jumbo.
So there you go. That's 2 Point Hospital Jumbo Edition. Just to give people a bit of background if they're not familiar with this game, as I say, came out a couple of years on PC, came out on the Xbox and PlayStation this time last year, out on Switch as well as this bumped up version. Anybody who remembers Theme Hospital would love this game because this is like a natural successor. Now, obviously, they couldn't call it Theme Hospital 2. As Tune says, 2 Point Hospital is awesome. But it is literally Theme Hospital, but with so much more, as if it's been updated in the last 20 years. I absolutely love it. I'm biased to this game. For the fact they've bundled everything with it now is a big bonus. And the thing is, you can also, if you've already got the game, what I've noticed they've done on Xbox and PlayStation is you don't have to buy all the DLC separately or buy the game again. You can actually pay like 14 quid and you get all that content bolted onto the version you've already bought. So they've done like a half price version, which I think is quite a cool thing compared to having to buy the whole thing again. Chris, I'm going to start with you. What do you know about this game, if anything, and is this the kind of thing you would play?
Right. Well, I know that you've been going on about it for quite a while, ever since I first knew you, actually. But yeah, I would definitely give it a go. I mean, I do like all the themes. I mean, I used to play Theme Park and Theme Hospital, and and then before that, all the sim stuff. So yeah, I'd definitely give it a go, especially if it turned up on Xbox Plus. If it turned up free, I'd definitely give it a go. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, the version that came out last year did. That's on Game Pass, but you could then pay 14 quid to get all that other extra stuff.
Get the extra stuff.
Yeah. The main game is huge anyway, so it's quite. In my opinion, it would be worth it, but that's just because I'm biased, so I'll keep my mouth shut. But yeah, so it's something you'd give it a whirl then.
Yeah, I'll probably Well, if the first bit's on there, then I'll probably give it a go, and if I enjoy it, then pay the money. Yeah, why not?
Cool. King, what do you think? Is this something you'd be into, or have you heard of this one?
I have. I've always been into Sims. Not very good at it, but I've been into it. This is definitely something that looks like something I would play, like maybe on my downtime. I don't know if I'd stream it, but for sure on my downtime.
Yeah. Okay. What do we reckon this got? Now, bearing in mind it got quite high scores when it came out originally. Tune's already said he reckons it's an 8 out of 10. What sort of scores? If you're in the chat, drop us a score. Let us know what you think this might be. Chris, I'm going to start with you. What do you reckon?
I was actually going to say about an 8 out of 10, but because you're asking, I was sort of thinking, is it like a 6? And they're like, they scored it quite low. That's why you're asking. So I'll go with 8 anyway. But yeah, go on.
You're going to go with 8. And King, what do you reckon this got out of 10?
Could do like an 8.5 maybe.
Okay, an 8.5. Okay, just for anyone who's not watched the show before, what we do is I get basically all the review scores, well, as many review scores as I can get from the internet, and basically just cram them all together and get an average score. Okay. There you go. Also, no Oracle / Professor says 8.5 as well. But I can tell you, got a 9 out of 10.
Oh.
9 out of 10. So that is pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not going to say much, but this week we haven't got any really dud games. Doesn't mean there's going to be like any bad scores, but we'll see what the other scores are without giving anything away. But that is going to be one of the highest games that we're going to talk about. So if you want to check that out, that literally came out on Friday on Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. It's already available on PC, and it's on Game Pass on PC and Xbox anyway, but not the Jumbo edition, just the original edition, but it's worth checking out anyway. Our next game literally came out last Wednesday. We're jumping to a couple of PC games now. This is a game where you basically have to build a colony. There's a bit of a steampunk element to it. You'll see that in the trailers. This came out, as I say, on Wednesday on PC. this is Scrapnaut. Let's have a look at the early access trailer and see what you think about this. Here we go. There we go. That's Scrapnaut, which is basically a building slash, sorry to mention it, King, semi-farming simulator, not full-on farming simulator. You're safe at the moment. But you have to build things, and basically take the bits of scrap and craft them to basically build your little village and build your little community because you're out stranded in the middle of nowhere. This is out, I say, on PC. It's come out on early access. I'm going to start with you, King. Is this kind of a thing that you would give it a whirl, or is this like a definite no?
Well, I can say it's not to the extent of like farming simulator, but I have played like games that are kind of like this, but they're more under the survival type element. But definitely looks interesting enough for me to actually give it a try. So I'd actually play this.
Okay. Cool. Chris, what do you reckon?
No, it's not for me, to be honest. I mean, if it looks a little bit like a dungeon crawler, but not with the dungeon crawler aspect to it. I don't know. Yeah, I take it it's an indie game. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's nothing. I wouldn't really try it. No, sorry.
It has got, as you say, it has got dungeon crawler elements in it because you do have enemies that come and attack you. But we have seen, but we've seen that quite a lot in a few of the games that we've talked about over the last couple of months. That there's that bit, but the emphasis is on building, getting things up and running, like making the generator, getting your plants growing.
I suppose that's the hook is the different building side of things, which
okay.
Not enough for me, really.
Okay, it's not your kind of thing. That's fair enough. What do we reckon we got scores-wise? I'll say this came out on Wednesday last week. It's out for PC on early access. I'm going to start with King. What do you reckon this got out of 10?
I want to say 7.
Okay. Chris, what do you reckon?
I'm going for 6.
You're going for a 6. I think you're cheating here, Professor. I think you're just saying whatever King says. Tune says it reminds him of a 3D version of Terraria, which is kind of a I'd go with that. Yeah, I'd go with that. Have we got anyone else in the chat wants to give us a score? All right, okay. You're not copying King's scores. Okay. All right, I'll take that back. All right.
She wants to solidify herself as my best friend. That's why she's saying exactly what I'm saying. That's why. I'm fine with it, though.
Oh, it's all good. We'll see. Well, we'll see if you actually get a score that's different. That'll be interesting. We'll see if that happens later tonight. Tunes is going with a 7. Mia's going with a 7 as well. Yeah. That seems to be the popular one. They do mean something, Professor. They do mean something. Right, so most people are going in around about the 7 mark. Would it surprise you that it got 9 out of 10 as well?
What?
Wow, that is crazy.
They have said.
That's crazy.
I know, yeah. So I'm not saying that anyone got bribed on that, but no, it's generally tunes is like that would surprise me. They have said compared to a lot of other games that have come out so far this year that are similar to that, this is far more polished, even though this is in early access. The way that everything you craft, everything, it just makes it so much not simpler, but it makes it a pleasure to play. It's not a grind. And I think that's what's made it stand out. Because when I look back at some of the other games that were similar to talk about, they were getting 6s or 7s, which is what everyone's pretty much been saying. So this might be me as surprised. She's like, fucking hell, yeah, I know. Okay, got 9 out of 10. I know. But there you go. But I think that's something. If you were kind of like, oh, I'm tempted, that might just titter you over the edge to go, all right, I'll definitely give it a go. So give it a try. It's out on PC on early access. That is Scrapnaut and gets highly another 9 out of 10. We're going to move on to some news now. And we're going to talk about Sony was already famous for being last Christmas removing a certain game, which we're not going to mention the name of because we're not talking about that particular game this week, because that might actually be 2 shows since Christmas that we've not actually talked about that certain game. You know, that futuristic rocker in the year 7 game we're not going to talk about. They were famous for saying, we're taking it off our store. You cannot buy a copy of that game from that store at all. They've done it again, but in a slightly different move. Sony have announced they are removing a whole component from their store off the PlayStation Store. And it's basically all the movies and TV. They are removing all the movies and TV section off PlayStation. And that is going to be removed from August the 21st. If you have bought anything in previous years or even up to the 21st, you get to keep it. It's there. You get to watch it. But Sony feel that there are so many different streaming services available and that there are apps that you can use and watch on consoles. There is no point having a film or TV rental service anymore. I know, tunes, Plex app. But, you know, we're talking about streaming legally. All right, tunes, just for now. All right, that's a conversation after the show's finished. All right. But, I mean, we look at this, you do see a lot of console stuff. Their prices are a lot higher than, say, if you went and, you know, paid $6.99, $7.99, whatever, you know, to get Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus or whatever. So do you think this is a sensible move? Because they probably thought, do you know what? We'll just concentrate on the game store. We ain't making money from this. We know people are going to go elsewhere. Or do you think this is a sign of the fact that actually in the last 12 months, especially with the pandemic, we've got saturated with these streaming apps because there's so many different ones now that they've just gone, there's no point. Well, I'm going to start with you, Chris. What do you think about this?
Well, I've never used my consoles for streaming movies or anything. Okay. I've always had a Fire Stick, and you know. So, but I think you're right. As you said, it's more expensive. Why would you go to there when you've got this streaming app now? Unless they're going to start their own streaming service, which obviously they're not interested in.
No.
What's the point? I don't think people are really buying that much these days. Anyway, the other week I went out and bought a Blu-ray straight away. A week later, it comes up on Netflix. Same thing as when, what was it? What was I bought the other day? I was complaining to you that I bought a game recently, and then it come up on Xbox. It's just like,
yeah.
But
you didn't even like that game, did you? It was rubbish.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, why do I even bother buying these games? You know. So I mean, to people purchasing digital now, I mean, are they really going to? I'm not sure.
And this is the thing. I mean, Choosers just said the thing is services like Disney, NF, Hulu make it so attractive. It's not financially viable for other companies to compete. And that's true because I do watch a lot of stuff on my consoles. I've got Netflix, Disney Plus, watch a lot of YouTube stuff. The missus has got Amazon Prime, but I don't tend to watch anything on that. But it is the fact that you could go, right, I'm going to watch a film on Netflix, or am I going to pay 10, 15 pounds to rent a film from the Xbox or Sony store that I can only keep for 48 hours?
Yeah. And the other thing is with Amazon, as they release the 4K version, you're going to get the newer version all the time. Yeah. So as it goes up, you're future-proofing yourself, basically. So, yeah.
What are you thinking? Do you think this is a sensible move by them, or do you think they really are? Yeah, we're not selling anything. We just got to get rid of it.
I mean, when I first got my Xbox, when I first got my PlayStation, I wanted to get like a lot of the anime movies and things like that I couldn't actually just go to the store and just buy. And so that's kind of what I used it for. But then I kind of also branched off and I ended up getting like Justice League and things like that. And I didn't really need it, but I got it. And then now I have like all these other streaming services that I use, and I mostly, watch the stuff on my PC anyway. So, I mean, it's a sensible move for them to make. Like it doesn't make sense for them to have to waste said resources on having those types of things in their store when they could just be focusing on the things that they need to be focusing on, like the games.
Yeah, I think the general consensus, and it seems like people in the chat are agreeing with the same thing. I think the days of kind of renting something and paying a high price for it are gone. I mean, even the things when they do the trials and stuff, I know Xbox gave away a whole month free of Disney Plus. And my attitude was, that's plenty of time to watch the whole 2 seasons of Mandalorian, and then I'll probably get
They also did that with Verizon as well. Verizon had it. I think T-Mobile also had something as well with like Disney Plus that you could get like 3 months or whatever it was for free.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, it's a no-brainer at that point.
It's the thing, because you get to the end of that trial, and like I was going to be tight. I was going to go, I'll watch the Mandalorian and get rid of it. And I was like, it's only £6 a month, and I've kept it now. And now they're starting to bring out more shows. I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm going to keep this because there's some interesting stuff coming up. So it is, the way they do it is very clever. And again, I can watch probably if I watched a film a day, I could watch 30 films for £6, $7 or whatever. Whereas I'd only get one film for the same amount of money buying it from the PlayStation store. It makes no sense. Do miss Blockbuster though, because it felt like way more of an event, grabbing chips and popcorn with the family. But mobile phones. Do you know what? I do agree with that. I do miss, again, we had we did have Blockbuster over here. We also had similar companies. There's one called Video Action, which shows you how old that was, because that was even before the DVDs. But yeah, it was a thing. I'd go like get drinks, stuff, get a load of things, also rent a game for like the Nintendo for the weekend and get a couple of films. And that was my weekend sorted. So I'd watch films with my folks and then play games, and that was weekend done. And there is that element kind of missing now. But, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing, the way the world goes. Right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to some games. Now, this one might be the one that causes a few tensions we're going to talk about, because it's already been brought up in the chat. This game came out on Thursday last week. Again, it's on PC. I'm not even going to say what it is, but we're going to play the trailer, and then we're probably going to talk very in-depth about this game. So that's all I'm going to say on this one. Enjoy the trailer. And this will probably get slated very quickly. Here we go.
Build, farm, hunt, and trade. Simulator. Begin your journey as a rancher by rebuilding your dilapidated home as you try to turn it into a successful ranch. Work together with up to 3 friends. Raise and breed livestock, milk cows, and then sell produce to keep the finances flowing. The remote valley you call home may be picturesque, but it's also teeming with wildlife and dangers. Head out into the wilderness to stalk deer, track bears, and hunt wolves. Ranch Simulator hits PC early access in early 2021. Wishlist will follow.
So that, believe it or not, is Ranch Simulator. And no, it's not about salad dressing. It is literally a game about building a ranch, hunting animals, cultivating animals, growing. King's just like, oh, get me out of here. Get me out of here. So apparently, do you want to tell us the story, King? Because you had a conversation with Professor about this. So do you want to?
Well, what it was when Professor Stock and I had our podcast, not last week, but the week before. Our topic was it was the games that had the longest play time to play through, and Farming Simulator was one of them.
Right.
And I expressed my disdain for Farming Simulator. Very, very vocally, might I add. And she started telling everybody that my favorite game and the game that I mostly stream and the game that I mostly play is Farming Simulator, because I hated it so much. I didn't see the point in that game. So yeah, I mean that kind of just became a thing that she just goes around and tells people that I play, just because I don't like that game, and I have very, very strong opinions about Farming Simulator. Negative opinions about Farming Simulator, but you know.
So you saw the trailer of this and just thought, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At first, I will admit I was like, no. But then when they said that, you know, it may look tranquil, but there's beasts out there, and you can go ahead and you can hunt them.
Yeah.
All right. That started piquing my interest a little bit. I might play the game just for the hunting aspect. Other than that, I don't care about anything else. But if I can go out there and I can shoot things, maybe.
Okay.
Small chance.
So there's a glimmer of hope with this one, possibly. Chris, what about you? What's your opinions on Ranch Simulator?
All right, so it's basically The Sims meets Hunting Simulator, basically, yeah. Or
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what it appeals to me more than the last game, believe it or not. And, you know, I've shot a few animals in game only before, but yeah, I suppose it's a game, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't get too sort of moral high ground about it, but yeah, I think it looks fun enough.
It's got to be more interesting than Truck Stop Simulator that we reviewed on the show. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Really? Was that any good? Did you
hang on. I will tell you the score. A lot back in my notes. Wow, was that 3 weeks ago? Oh, yeah, not good. He got a 5 out of 10. That was 3 weeks ago on the Road Truck Simulator. But yeah, oh dear. Here we go. People are going on about comparing Farming Simulator to how much I love Halo. I don't love Halo. No. It's shit. Get over it. I'm saying this.
One of the best games on
Boy, so hey, Halo for you is like Farming Simulator for me.
Yes, exactly. That's it.
I mean, it stings a little bit because I actually like Halo.
So does Chris.
Halo's a good game.
Yeah, Halo's a good game. Halo's a damn good game.
It's a very good game.
Yeah. Definitely. I'd play that. Yes, exactly. I agree 100%. I'm sorry.
No, it just. Yeah. I'll leave you two on the show, and you can talk about Halo for the rest of the show.
I can't wait.
No, it's just that thing, that game. It's funny enough, we are going to talk about Halo a little bit later on the show, but not how people think we're going to talk about it. But yeah, it's funny to me. These simulator games, some do pique some interest. This, I actually thought this looked kind of interesting because it had different elements to it. But like some of them, like Train Simulator, I mean, it's bad enough having to sit on a train for 2-3 hours in England anyway. Why would you do a simulator that basically does the whole thing in real time again, but not in real life?
Can I just
Go on, Chris.
I have played it, and it's quite just like, because it's about gradients and making the stops at the right time. Anyway, doesn't matter.
I got to say this. If you don't like ranch simulators, you could check out a previous game that they developed. It's Toxic Catch a Lover, where you play a husband who has to catch his wife's lover, whilst the lover has to find his way out of the house. See, now that sounds interesting.
That does sound quite good.
And do you then go hunting down in the countryside like you do with the animals in ranch simulators? That'd be great. That'd make a game.
And how would you do the revenge?
Yeah. Husband's Revenge or something. But
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this could be a game. It might not. As I say, this is out on early access. What do we think this got out of 10 score-wise? We'd like to hear your thoughts in the chat. Also, I'd rather play that Catch a Lover thing. I think that sounds quite good. But what do we reckon this got? King, I'm going to start with you. What score do you think this got out of 10?
I want to say 6.
Okay. Tunes is going with a 6. Mia's going with a 4. Different score. Professor says 7. Okay.
I was thinking 7. I was honestly thinking
I'm going to go high with 8.
Okay. So Chris is going with an 8. You're going with an 8.
I'm going in with an 8.
Okay. So, King, you might have wanted to change your score, because even though it's an early access game and there's a few things that are a bit buggy, but they've generally said it's good fun, and it's getting a 7 out of 10 at the moment.
Oh.
So a fairly decent score.
I have to start trusting my gut.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Don't worry. 7 out of 10. As I say, came out last Thursday on PC, early access. If that's kind of your thing, give it a whirl. If it's not, none of us are offended by that. And we can just claim now, we want to clear this up, especially for King, that Farming Simulator is not his favourite game, because Ranch Simulator is now his favourite game of all time. So
No.
You've heard it here first.
No.
No, it's not. We're joking. No, we're not. We just start a whole other Twitter campaign of no. Right, okay. On to another game. This also came out last Thursday, also for PC. As I said, there's a lot of PC games that came out in the last week. Let's have a look at this one. This is definitely a bit more indie and a bit more retro. This one is called Loop Hero. We'll have a look at the trailer, see what you think, and then we'll come back and discuss it. Here we go. So there you go. That is Loop Hero. Now, just to put it into context, because, again, I don't feel the trailer kind of really sells it, but it is a turn-based combat game, dungeon crawler, but the spin on it is you're the person who creates the dungeon and sets the traps, and you've got to kill the heroes.
Oh, right.
So that's the spin on it, which makes it a bit different. I don't think that trailer sells that element of it very well.
No, it doesn't at all.
No, which is annoying. So hence why I'm giving it a little bit of a fair thing to say that. Obviously, Tunes gets a 16-bit vibe. The graphics are very sort of Mega Drive kind of style on it. It does remember the little elements of it, even though it does remind me of Golden Axe, the way some of the characters look. Dungeon crawler games, I'm going to start with you, Chris. Is this kind of the sort of thing you like, or do you like the idea that the tables have turned?
I do like dungeon crawlers, and before you said that, I was like, no, there's better things out there. Why would you even touch it? But now you've said that, that's sort of put a little spin on it. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I would actually give that a go, even though, yeah, it's weird. It's just sort of, you just blow my mind a bit there. yeah, I'd give that a go.
Okay,
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
all right.
Why not? It's the fighting looks a bit Final Fantasy, so why not?
Okay, all right. King, what were your thoughts on this?
Initially, when I saw it, it was like, all right, maybe I might play this game, but then once you explained that you're the one that creates the dungeons, I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely play this. Now I'm definitely gonna do it.
You're pretty much sold on this one then.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This might make this really easy then. So, what do you think in the chat? Let us know what you think this scored. I'll start with you, King. What score do you reckon this got?
I want to say 8.5.
Okay. Chris, what do you reckon?
That's exactly what I was going to go for.
You're going for
I'll stick to the 8.5. But if it had been the other way around, I would have gone for about a 6.
Okay.
But
interesting.
Yeah, it makes that much difference.
Tunes is going for a 7.5. Mia says, I wasn't paying attention. That's fine. You don't have to. That's
they had a whole different conversation going on in chat.
You've missed it. You'll have to watch it on catch up in a couple hours time or whatever. just that 2 minutes that we talked about it. This got 8 out of 10.
Would you give it a go, Paul?
Do you know what? I would. It's not my kind of thing. I don't mind. I don't mind turn-based combat games. I don't like all of them. I do like some of them. But again, when I heard about the fact that things are twisted round, I was like, "Oh, I like that. I like the fact that you're the bad guy and you're trying to trap the good guys, and you send your little army of skeletons or dragons or whatever out to go get them." I was like, "Yeah, this looks cool." Hello, Joron. Welcome. He's already digging your cap. So
Dragon Ball Super.
Nice.
Ultra Instinct. It actually has a Ultra Instinct Goku.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I got it from Hot Topic like 2 years ago.
Nice. He's Joron's very complimentary to our guests. He's just not keen on me. Bless him. So he's good. And Joron, he's a big fan of Dave, who's our co-host, but unfortunately Dave couldn't be here tonight. Joron gives your cap a 9 out of 10.
Thank you.
There you go. So the 3 things you need to buy this week are 2 Point Hospital, Scrapnaut, and King's Cap. There you go. That's it. You don't need anything else. Just those 3 things. It's all good. Tune Sendy spends an absolute fortune at Hot Topic every time I go to. I like the fact it says fortune, so I'm guessing it's not that expensive. I guess by that, or is it? Or I don't know.
I haven't been to Hot Topic in like 2 years.
Okay.
So I love the place though.
Yeah,
they have some good stuff.
Tunes, you'll have to say what was the last couple of things you bought last time you were out there. You'll have to let us know. We're going to talk about a couple of things, a couple of little news stories. Nothing major. First one we talked about a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about the fact that like they are working on GTA 6. But then we said, is there going to be a chance that GTA 5 is going to come on to the its third generation of consoles? And there was a discussion going on a couple of weeks ago. They have confirmed that it is coming to Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. However, the people that are putting it together have said don't expect it to just be a standard port. We are going to add new things to it. We are going to develop on it more. We're going to keep it going. They've got a long-term plan for this game, and this game's been out for donkeys because I remember it coming out on the Xbox 360. So, you know, I think for anyone who's a fan of GTA 5, they're going to be pleasantly surprised by the sounds of it. They're not just going to do a standard port. So, I mean, do you think that's a good thing, or do you think they're just really rinsing this down because we've got no definite date on GTA 6? Kings, I'll start with you on this.
I don't know. I mean, I really I loved GTA 4. I really got into GTA 5, but it kind of it kind of felt like things were just dragging, so I kind of stopped for a bit, and then I got back into it again. I do like the fact that they're thinking about just like not doing the standard port and just adding, continuously adding things to it. So yeah, I like that.
Okay.
To be honest, yeah.
Chris, what are your thoughts on it?
I played through all the 4 originals, well, up to 5, and then I have played a bit of 5. I own it. But then I don't know why I just stopped playing it and started playing something else. I don't know why, and I've never really gone back. I'll probably wait for the 6th one to come out before I start, because there has been other things to pull me back into 5, and I've just never really gone back. It almost feels like it's too far gone for me to get back into it, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
I don't know if it is or not, but I don't know. It feels like if I buy all the new content, will I just be playing the old content until I get up to, like, I have to put loads of hours in just to get the new stuff? I don't know. I might be wrong. But
well, would it surprise you that I have never played GTA 5 at all? Yeah, I've played all the other GTAs.
No, it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay.
You're probably still waiting.
I know a lot of people that have.
Yeah. It's not like, and it's funny that you're saying you might not be able to get back into it, but for me, again, I feel like it's gone and it's passed. Like, even when it ended up on Game Pass for 6 months, I just didn't get around to playing it. But if it is coming to Series X and PlayStation 5, I probably would give it a go eventually, and then see what it's like. So yeah, it's I
think also it depends on your lifestyle. I mean, I go to work, and I don't have much time, so you've got to have a lot of time to invest in those sort of games. Really, it's not like Beast where you can just pick it up for an hour, play, put it down, done. You know, so it just feels like a big investment time-wise.
Yeah, it's probably something that I could invest into then. By the sounds of it, eventually I could get round to it, I think. So we'll see. Another beloved franchise, but a very bizarre news story. Unfortunately, you can only get these in the US at the moment, but if you know how to get them, then my favorite game, allegedly, Halo, they have brought out some limited edition Pringles in America for Halo, and they are Moa burger flavor. Now, if anyone isn't familiar with Halo, Moa is a type of bird that they could kill and cook, and you can eat Moa burgers in Halo. So they have made these limited edition Moa burger Pringles. People are a bit surprised because it doesn't coincide with anything. Because they thought, well, why didn't they do this when Halo Infinite was coming out like later in the year? But they've just come out in a limited edition. I mean, I doubt very much that I'll get my hands on any of these, but I do like Pringles. If anyone saw my stream on Saturday, I had some ramen cup, basically vegetable Pringles, which tasted like a Sunday dinner, like peas and carrots and gravy. And I tried them, and they were actually all right. So, is this something I mean, what on earth is a Moa burger going to taste like?
I think I'm going to go ahead and try and find me some of those. I need to try them now.
When you do, can you report back and let us know what they're like?
Oh, definitely, for sure.
Awesome.
Somebody will probably clip my reaction to tasting them.
Yeah.
I
would. I'd give it a go. If I'm not saying you have to, but if anyone can they're watching this or they're watching this code and get some, and are willing to send some over, I will try them on one of my snack tasting streams. I will give that a go. I'm not saying you have to, but if there is anyone there, because the chances of us getting them over here, I think, is probably zero. No. But if they were over here, Chris, I guess you'd give them a whirl, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. I'd have them lined up behind me just to annoy you. Yeah, I'd give them a go. I mean, I bought the Final Fantasy noodles when they did those over here.
Oh, flipping out. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I only got 2 download codes out of like the 20 I bought, but hey.
Really? As long as you enjoyed the noodles, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That was nice. I'm still working my way through them at lunchtimes.
I'm just gonna do something because Pixie, thank you so much for raiding our channel. Pixie was playing Minecraft. Thank you so much. There you go. Joran wants to ask me, when's the next talk show? Well, you're in the talk show now, mate. So the next one's going to be Tuesday next week. But I know he's sad because Joran is the one guy that always says, when's the next talk show? And he actually missed. We've done 15 shows. This is our 15th show. And actually missed one. And he's gutted. So there you go. But yeah, we want to give a big shout out to Pixie. Thank you so much. And congratulations on the 100 followers that you got, Pixie. That is amazing. Well done. Oh, the Pringles are already on eBay. £10.85 for one small pack at the moment.
Whoa.
On eBay. So there you go. Wait until I reckon that'll go up. I think that's going to go up. You wait until it gets £100 for a packet of Pringles. You watch. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So there we go. Moving on to our games. Moving on next. Here's a game that a lot of people should be familiar with. But surprisingly, it has only come to Nintendo Switch as of today. That game is Apex Legends. Loads of people play it. Loads of people stream it. But is it going to be any good on a little handheld Switch? Let's watch the trailer, and then we will discuss everything about the Apex Legends Nintendo Switch version. Here we go.
G'day, Kings Canyon!
Faster, faster!
Guys, look!
Bring the party!
I'll high-five you all when I see you.
Come on, brother. Step up.
Ed Jesse will be waiting for you down there.
After this, we should hang out.
There you go. Apex Legends on Switch. Discord's going in with that thing of, because he started playing it when it first came out. It's like, Apex was cool, but now it's crap. I like that. I bet there are some people that do say that. I wouldn't be surprised. But apparently it holds well at 30 frames per second on the Switch. But yeah, I mean, again, I've not really played this. I am very tempted to play this because it's been something that I've ummed and ahed about, but it's mainly because it was made by the people that made Titanfall. And I love the Titanfall games, and I still think they're one of the most fluid first-person shooter games with the way the wall running and sliding and everything. And this does fit that bill. And I know so many people love it. Do we think? Well, two questions here, and I'll start with King. Firstly, are you an Apex fan? And secondly, do you think that a Nintendo Switch is going to be able to carry off a game like that on that type of console?
First off, I love Apex Legends. I love it. I played it when it first came out. I've been taking on and off breaks from Apex Legends.
Yeah.
Will it be able to thrive on the Switch? Honestly, it was the same thing as when Fortnite first kind of ported over. It's not necessarily like, I don't feel like the Switch is like a proper FPS type of console for it to be on there, but if you have the Pro controller, that may make the difference, really. If you're not really playing it handheld and you're really just putting it in the charging port and you're just playing it on your TV, it should be perfectly fine. But if it's handheld and you're taking it on the go, I don't know. I don't feel like it'll really work out too well for you if you have the crossplay enabled, that is. But if it's just Nintendo Switch, like lobbies, it'll be like, whatever. But if it's crossplay, then you're definitely gonna have some trouble for sure.
Chris, what do you reckon?
Same
two questions to you.
I was a big Overwatch fan, so I imagine by the looks of it, it's the same sort of thing. Maybe, is that right, King? Very much like Overwatch.
Kind of like they each have their own abilities and stuff like that, like kind of like just like how Valorant does, but it's a battle royale game.
Oh, right,
heavily.
okay.
So so it's not really like 4v4 or anything.
Right, okay. But yeah, I've played that on the Switch, and I've got the Pro controller, like what King said, and it plays absolutely fine. But I wouldn't play it handheld because of that. Just would feel weird. But yeah, I reckon it'll play fine as long as you're playing it on the TV. If you've got the DS Lite, I'd probably leave it. The DS Lite, I mean, Switch Lite.
I don't think it'd even run on a DS Lite. I'd probably blow it up, I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's a challenge for someone. I bet they'll do it now. Just to prove it.
There'll be some clever modder that's gone, oh, look, I've got it working on a DS Lite now. You're like, oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. They've got Doom working on a calculator, so,
Respawn, that was the name of the company that made it. And yes, you're right. They also made Jedi Fallen Order. Now, Jedi Fallen Order has got a very love-hate relationship in this group. I love that game. I know Joron hates it. And as soon as he heard it, was like, oh, they made no, 1 out of 10. Discord says 7.5. Mia says 6.5. What else do we reckon? Will it blow up a deck if we put it in? That's a joke from last night's stream. We had things where desks just blew up just randomly, and it's just like, is it going to blow the desk up if I plug this thing in? So yeah, it probably would. Discord, it would. But God, can you imagine if they're going to announce Cyber? Oh, I'm not going to say it. I'll stop myself from saying it. Can you imagine if they announced that game for the Nintendo Switch? I think you'd have to plug it into a generator.
Oh, hell.
I nearly said that game name. I'm trying not to say it this week. I'm trying not to say it. Well, tonight anyway. But there you go. June says a 7 out of 10. What do we reckon, King? What do we reckon? What score-wise?
I want to say probably like an 8 because it's a beloved game. So
okay, Chris.
I reckon I'm going to go for a 9 because they don't care that it's on the Switch. They're just going to go for the rating of the game.
Yeah. Yes, Discord, it was last night. We were only streaming that game that I can't talk about last night, believe it or not. So that joke about the actual desk blowing up was only last night. Okay. It gets an 8 out of 10.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know if it's cross-platform. I haven't found that out yet. It literally only came out today. So a bit of the details were a bit scarce. But I'm assuming they've done a good job with pointing it all over and it all runs. From what I've seen, people said it runs pretty smoothly. So we could probably assume that it's going to be on just on the Nintendo servers or whatever. But
it tends to be Nintendo kick to Nintendo.
Yeah, it's very rare they have anything on
Minecraft's the only one.
I don't know. I don't know because they have crossplay enabled for Rogue Company and for Fortnite. So that's why I'm assuming that they would do the same for Apex as well.
Okay.
There you go. Maybe that. Yeah.
We'll have a look. I know Tunes does a bit of digging for me, so I'm sure Tunes could look that up. Discord says, "What game am I streaming on Monday?" That game will be. Let me think now. Future Rocker in the year 2077, I believe the game's called.
Future Rocker.
Yeah, I believe that's the game that we'll be playing on Monday. So
never heard of it.
No, a lot of people haven't, and I believe the PlayStation Store has banned it. So there you go. Apex Legends does have crossplay on Switch, but not cross progression.
Yeah, they stopped that for PC as well. So like, you got to start a whole new account. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Okay. What else? Joran, quick question before we move on to our next game. Says, how did you get your name?
Okay.
He lives in Queens, and he's
no. See, that's actually what everybody assumes.
Oh, okay.
But actually, my name came from my Trovo community. Actually, there was these people that I had interest in, and that they had interest in me, and my community dubbed them as the Sinister Six. There were more than six, but they just threw the name Sinister Six out there. And because I had a lot of female following at the time coming into my stream, blasting my name out on social media, trying to get people coming into my streams, they started calling me King of Queens because I was king at the time. Well, it was like King Nova, but King has always been like in the name. But they were like, oh, when you can change your name, become King of Queens. And so they pressured me for it for like 3 months straight. And so I changed my name to that for them. But now the name is kind of starting some bad rumors. Okay, maybe not bad rumors, but some unpleasant rumors that are making it a little bit difficult for me to do what I do.
Okay.
So I might be rebranding again very soon, but I'm not too sure about that.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to go into that because that doesn't seem fair to put you on the spot with a question like that. But
it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, but I'm going to change it up quickly because Joran has followed with a question saying, "How did Chris get your name?"
Moto Chris, or Chris?
No, just Chris.
I was born near Christmas. I was born on the 28th of December.
There you go.
I'm like, oh, what shall we call him? Oh, Chris will do. So yeah.
And I was born on Christmas Day, and they call me Paul.
Maybe I was probably the cracker at the time. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah, bang, crack it. I never thought of that. Oh dear. No worries. Thank you so much, Professor, for being here, or as you're known today as Milk Oracle. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in.
That's your significant other's account.
Yeah.
You have a great rest of your day, Professor, and let Maximus know that I said what up. I know I was talking to him in Discord just a little while ago, but catch you later.
We'll see you soon, Professor. Thank you so much for being here. Let's move on to another game, something completely different. This is the first time we've ever discussed a game like this. Not because it's a VR game, but because it's particular to one type of VR, which is the Oculus Quest. It's out on the Oculus Quest 2. This is a sequel to another game that came out a couple of years ago. And I've just seen them starting to plug it on it's been turning up on YouTube adverts. This is the Climb 2, which came out literally just a couple of days ago. We'll have a look at the trailer, and then we'll have a discussion and see what we think. Here we go. Okay, so that's the Climb 2. That's on the Oculus Quest. So, I say it's a sequel. It does seem a bit weird when I say there is only 3 areas that it's got. But each level, so you've got the one that's basically skyscrapers, you've got like a desert one, and then you've got one that's like jumping around giant windmills and a bit more sort of hanging from buildings and stuff. But each level has kind of got 5 levels in it, and each level has got multiple routes, so you can go different things. So you see, like, it's not just about climbing. There's bits where you swing across and go down and stuff. But there's also other little dangerous elements to it. So the one that's set in the desert, you might have seen a snake that attacks you. Well, there's one bit of it where it goes into nighttime and wolves come after you and they can get you. So you have to find the way to get away from that. So they've added different little elements of it. It seems quite an intriguing little game. I'll start with Chris on this one. Do you think this is one that you would try?
Well, I have PlayStation VR, and if it was out on that, I would definitely give it a try. Yeah, I mean, obviously the video doesn't give off what it's like to be in the VR and actually look down. And so I've had a few experiences on what was it, Batman and the Iron Man game, where you're sort of like looking down over an edge, and it does look fantastic, even though it's just graphics. And it does give you that sort of sense of vertigo. So yeah, I'll definitely give it a go. And quite often, I don't know if you know what the price of the game is, but quite often they're not as much as like a sort of, like a £40 or $50 game sort of thing. They're usually sort of half the money. So yeah, I'll give that a go. Yeah.
Okay. King, what do you reckon?
I would totally get it. Like, I still want to get an Oculus myself. I'm not one that's afraid of heights, but I do have a fear of falling. But I would totally play that game. I would totally play that game. It looks so fun.
Okay. What do people reckon the score for this is going to be? And Discord, I'm not going to fall into your trap. I know you've got 3 words. Well, I say 2 words and an unk. But I'm not saying that because I know what you're trying to get me to say, and it's not going to work, dude. But nice try. I did have to look at it very quickly just to see what
I was wondering why he typed it. And then I kind of just figured it out when you said something.
I know. I will do, though. You want yellow lights from last night? Oh, no, not that one. What was it? Was it that one? Who knows? That one. I'll do that for you. There we go. How's that, mate? I'll let you have that if that's all right. At least do that for you and change my lights in the background for you. If I'm not going to say those 3 words and the unk, or 2 words and unk. So yeah, what do we reckon scores would be for this one? Chris, what do you reckon?
I'm going for 7.5.
Okay. King, what do you reckon?
I'll go for an 8.
Okay, 7.5, 8. Who else in the chat wants to give us some scores for this, for the Climb 2? And while we're waiting for the scores, I'll tell you a couple of things about it. So they have said that it is a vast improvement on the first game. However, there's some little things that they thought they would have added to make it slightly easier, but they haven't. So they feel that they've missed a trick. They like the fact there's multiple routes in different places. There's also certain things that might not be things you would normally grab, but if it was like a pole or like a bit hanging out of a billboard, if you could realistically grab it, you can try and jump and grab for it. Might not be the route you're going, but it gives you a way to find another way for like shortcuts and stuff. However, it does say that sometimes you can get hung up, and you will find that if you turn your head very quickly and go back in, you end up inside the building or the rock. So then you're kind of stuck, or you're gripping on. And also there's been times where the people reviewing it have said they've fallen to their death because their body itself has got stuck and it blocks where they're jumping. So there has been a couple of little niggles with that. But they did praise the fact that you use chalk on your hands. And by using that, you can hold stamina, because if you're hanging with one arm, your stamina goes down. But if you use the chalk, that kind of builds your stamina back up so you can climb quicker and stuff like that. Duron's coming with a 7.5. Tunes is coming for a 7. I can tell you it got a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
So everyone's pretty much bang on the money with that one. So there you go. We've got one more game to talk about, but we're going to talk about some more news first. And this is pretty much a load of things to do with Nintendo. So firstly, there was the president of Nintendo said literally just a couple of weeks ago, we have no intention of bringing out a new version of the Nintendo Switch. And in the last few days, there was an announcement saying there is a brand new version of the Nintendo Switch coming out ready for this coming Christmas 2021, holidays 2021. And they've basically started that it is going to have a larger touchscreen on it. And it's going to have a far better battery power than the original one. And there's a few other elements that means it's going to run a bit quicker also when it's plugged into the dock. There's no kind of information yet about how much it will cost, blah, blah, blah. But it does seem very strange that they've now announced this. Why, when they did their Nintendo Direct event a couple of weeks ago, do we think that they didn't announce it? And then 2 weeks later, they've turned around and said, yeah, we are doing this. What do you think the reasons are? I'll start with Chris on this one, and I'll come to King on it.
Because they're nuts. I don't know. There's no explanation for that, really. You can't even say, oh, maybe it's because of the economy, the way it's been panning out. But I mean, Nintendo, how many Game Boys was there? There's so many different types of Game Boys. Okay, the Game Boy Advance, there was only a couple of versions, but then the DS, there was so many different versions of the DS. There's the original, there's the Lite, there's the flat one, which is both screens on one sort of slab, and then there's the XL, and yeah, they can't help themselves. They love just rehashing the same thing over and over again. But the problem is with Nintendo is they do it good. They do good quality products, so you can't really have a go at them. But yeah, it's a bit weird that they said they wasn't going to do it, and then they are. Maybe they're just trying to throw people off the track of the big announcement. That's the only thing I can think of.
Tune says there was probably always a Switch Pro in the works, which is probably true. Yeah. We think it's going to be called the Switch Pro. We don't know that. That's just a guess. People are kind of saying. But what do you think, King, regard this?
I don't know. I mean, it could have been any number of things. I mean, maybe they were just trying to finalize everything. Like maybe it just wasn't ready for that Nintendo Direct event, and then now they're ready to announce it. I mean, I honestly don't know, but Nintendo is famous for rehashing their stuff and adding a little bit of this onto that, and then they're going to go ahead and release that. So, I mean, people always are going to want the new hottest thing. So, you know, there's no doubt that there's going to be people that are going to want to get it.
Yeah. I think this is the thing. I'm not going to tell the wife because I only got the wife a Switch at when was it, for her birthday last August. So I don't. I got her the limited edition Animal Crossing one, and that was difficult enough to get that. So I'm going to try and make sure that she doesn't know there's a Switch Pro.
It took me so long to get my Switch.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to get one just so that I can give my Switch to my brother.
Yeah. But
I mean, the Switch size is absolutely fine. I don't think you need it bigger. Just once you start getting bigger, then it's not portable anymore, really.
True.
So it's just like, how big do you want it? And then it plugs into the TV, so you've got your big screen. So I don't know what I mean, they might soup it up a little bit, give it a bit more power. I don't know.
We'll have to see. We don't know all the specs on it yet, so I think as and when we get that, we'll probably decide whether. Okay, so it might end up only being a slightly bigger screen, so it's still portable. Or it could be, like it'd be interesting to see.
Might only be just a little bit bigger than what it is.
Yeah. But I think that'll still attract people to it. So we'll see what happens. We'll probably find out more stuff over the next couple of months with that. However, a little bit of sad news for Nintendo fans in America. Obviously, we talked about this well before Christmas, that the Mario World or Nintendo World is obviously opening in Japan, literally in the next couple of weeks. We've played videos on it on this show. However, there was one to be scheduled opening at Universal Studios in Orlando as well. And it is now delayed till 2025. And they basically said, because of with the pandemic and everything else going on, there's no way that we can get on schedule. It was supposed to be ready for back end of this year into 2022. They've said it's not going to happen. Realistically, 2025 is when Super Nintendo World is going to open in America. But in the meantime, the one in Japan is going to open. So, I mean, has there been much hype about that over in the US, King? Or is it something that's kind of...
Actually, I never heard about it until literally just now. Like, that's something that I expected to be in Japan and maybe potentially in the future. Yeah. Maybe something like that might come in, but I didn't know that they were actually working on it on this end of the world just yet. But I'm actually excited. Like, I'm excited to hear that they've been working on something like that, and I can't wait till they do open and I can go ahead and check it out.
Yeah, I was very much the same. Obviously, we discussed the Japanese one loads. Again, I didn't even know there was going to be one in Orlando until I heard this news story literally a couple of days ago. But again, I get the feeling whereas the one in Japan is like everything Mario, very much everything Mario. This one is going to be other Nintendo games as well. So I don't know if it's going to be bigger than the one in Japan. We haven't got those details, but it'd be interesting to see. Chris, I think this is going to be right up your street. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, we're already talking about maybe booking to go to Japan to go. My son can't wait to go on Mario Kart. I mean, it's insane how much people was desperate to go on that Mario Kart. But yeah, I mean, for the American thing, I mean, hey, he's still getting it. We're not.
Yeah. I mean,
so it comes down to it.
Yeah, true. That's very true.
I don't think it's going to be bigger than Japan's, though, for sure. I don't think, but who knows?
Yeah. With what I've seen of Japan, because they've still not unveiled everything, but they, I think, start of January they did a walkthrough of some of the stuff, and I was like, "This is amazing." Yeah, I think it could be. I think it could be excellent, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, 2025 at Universal Studios Orlando is now the date scheduled for that, unfortunately. Right, we're going to come on to our last game of this evening. Again, as we said, very PC heavy this week. This is another game out on the PC. This literally came out, I think, just after the weekend. This is part of a series of games that's been around for, I think, about 10 years, if I've got that right. This is Stronghold Warlords. We're going to play the trailer and then we'll have a discussion and let us know what you think in the chat about this one. There you go. That was, unfortunately, that was the best trailer I could find, unless I wanted to play a 5-minute trailer, and I was not going to do that. So apologies that there's videos and stuff on it. They've done that deliberately, but that was the best I could get. So obviously this is part of a series. June says, Firefly have had some strong release titles. I played Stronghold Legends like 10 years ago, so I'm probably right. It is about a series that's been around for 10 years. Kuda, hello. you were told there would be snacks. Unfortunately, that was last Saturday. The snack stream was Saturday, my friend. Great to see you. Great to see you. So yeah, this is a real-time strategy game. And again, you basically you can take you can play as like Genghis Khan if you wanted to, and lead his army in. You can, and it's, if you think of games like hark back to things like Command and Conquer and stuff like that, it's more that kind of game that's set in that era. Are you a fan? Again, I'll start with King this time. Are you a fan of real-time strategy games?
Kind of. Like, I used to play a lot of games like those when I was younger. But then, like, once the Halos and Call of Duties and all those types of games came out, I kind of lost touch with it. I would definitely like play this game. Maybe not as much as I would play most of those other games, but I would definitely give it a try.
Okay. Chris, what about you? Is this your kind of thing?
Right. Yes, I used to play Command and Conquer, and what was it? Dune before that, even.
Yeah, blimey, yeah, I remember Dune.
Right. Stronghold, the first game I ever played on my PC.
Okay.
Now that was, I was trying to think, 23 years ago, I think it was.
Okay.
The original Stronghold game. And yeah, it was fantastic. But this new one, I don't know if it's just me, but the graphics didn't look like 20 years worth on. Oh, I mean, this is like, oh, wait a minute, what have you been doing for the last 20? Because as somebody said, that there was Stronghold Legends, and that the same sort of graphics as that from like 10 years ago. They haven't really done much with it. It's just, I mean, obviously there's probably more going on, maybe, and to control everybody in the town at once takes a lot of memory up, and maybe they've got more stuff going. But I don't know. For me, it doesn't look like they've really moved it on enough to call it a brand new game. That, it just seems a bit strange.
Okay. I can tell you a couple of things, and we'll get the chat to get your scores again for this game. Tell you a couple of things about it. They've said it fits in nicely with the series of all the other games. They do feel that some of the characters, where you'd think someone like Genghis Khan would be a very strong character in it, is actually pretty much the same as some of the other characters in it. They do only have slightly different variations, and some of it just comes down to the color of the character, not even the skills, which doesn't make much difference. The other thing they said was really weird is you've obviously got different countries fighting each other, but they all seem to speak Chinese, which is a bit weird. They've said that's a bit of an odd thing, that they all just communicate the same way. So it kind of takes the realness out of it. But they said it's a solid game. It holds up to all the other games in the series. It's pretty much more, if you like those, it's more of that. So what do we reckon, based on that info, the scores are for that? I'll start with Chris. What do you reckon?
I'm going for 7.
Okay, King?
Seems to be the magic number tonight.
I'm going to say 7.5. I'm going to say 7.5.
Okay, 7.5. I'll say what the magic number is in a bit, because it's been a funny one this week. We do get weeks where the scores are very... I think the lowest score we've ever had is a 4 on the show.
Oh.
Yeah, but we've had ones where it's got lots of 6s and then like an odd 9 and 8 and that. Mia says 6.5. Welcome back, Mia, because her phone died. Good to see you again. I'm going to tell you... well, you should go for that number. That's fine. Don't worry. I'm going to tell you it gets a 7 out of 10.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go. And the key number has kind of been 7, because out of 7 games we've talked about, 3 of them got a 7 out of 10. So there you go. So just to very quickly recap before we move on to our last part of the show, which is like a big PlayStation roundup. We had 2 Point Hospital Jumbo Edition, which is out for Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and was out last Friday. That got a 9 out of 10. Scrapnaut on PC came out last Wednesday. That got a 9 out of 10. The good old Ranch Simulator, which came out on Thursday on PC, gets a 7 out of 10. Loop Hero, which is the game where you are the dungeon master, out on PC last Thursday, 8 out of 10. Apex Legends for the Switch came out today, gets an 8 out of 10. The Climb 2 on Oculus Quest 2 gets a 7 out of 10. That is out now. And also Stronghold Warlords, which is also out now on PC, gets a 7 out of 10. So those are the games that we've reviewed this week. Going to talk for the last half an hour of the show, everything pretty much PlayStation. So 2 weeks ago, PlayStation held its State of Play event, which was on February the 25th. We wanted to talk about this on last week's show, but we had so much stuff to cram in that we couldn't fit it in. So we thought this was a perfect time to talk about it. They unveiled about 8 new games that are due to come out for this year. And I'm going to talk through what those games are. And then I'm going to show you a 1-minute trailer, which quickly shows those games. And then I'm going to talk about the reaction that it got. Bearing in mind, it was about a 2.5-hour online event, but we've managed to condense it down into a 1-minute video, which is great, courtesy of PlayStation Australia. Gotta love the everything down short. So the games that we're going to talk about, just so people, is Returnal, which comes out on April the 30th, Oddworld Soulstorm, which is coming straight to PlayStation Plus, free of charge as of April. We've got Solar Ash, which is out later this year, Saifu later this year. We've got Knockout City, which we've talked about on this channel, which is also coming out on Xbox and was one of the games featured on Nintendo Direct. And we've got the new Five Nights at Freddy's game, Security Breach. So let's have a quick look at all those, and then we'll talk about, right, what do we think of those games? But also, didn't we think there was going to be some other games talked about that seem to have been missed? Let's have a look at the PlayStation State of Play event, literally summed up in 1 minute. Here we go. There you go. So that is everything. I actually forgot to mention the Final Fantasy VII remake as well was included in that list at the end. That is due to come out on June the 10th. So we've actually got a date for that. So did any of those grab? I mean, Joran says, I like the Five Nights at Freddy's game. Could be interesting them changing it up a bit. What grabbed your attention there? I'll start with Chris on this one. Is there anything that grabbed your attention?
They all look pretty good, don't they? I mean, Oddworld just looked like the same mold. Other than that one, they all look pretty good. I mean, what's the first one called? Immersed? Is that right?
Returnal is the first one.
Was it? Oh, right, okay. Yeah, that looked pretty. Is that the one that looks a bit like Alien-y? And yeah, that looked pretty cool. I mean, I'm not really up on the PlayStation releases at the moment. I've just been concentrating on the Xbox of no releases. So I've not been really watching the PlayStation ones because otherwise I'll just get jealous because I've bought a PlayStation 5 I will do, but I just haven't got around to it yet. But yeah, they look pretty good, those games. Obviously people are expecting to see certain other games, but those games look pretty.
Yeah,
they look like it's good, solid games to start off with for the next gen system.
Yeah, King, what do you reckon from what you saw there?
I am really excited for Knockout City. I cannot wait for that. But those other games look really good too. Like that one hide and seek game. I forget. I didn't see the name of it, but that actually looked very, very interesting to play too.
Yeah, what the Five Nights at Freddy's one?
Yeah. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they've massively changed that game up because there's been lots of Five Nights at Freddy's games, and it's pretty much been the same thing. They really. There is a full trailer for that, which we'll probably end up showing on a future show. But it does look like they've massively changed up that game. So hopefully that's for the better. But I agree with you. We talked about Knockout City 2 weeks ago. I was like, this looks so cool because it reminds me of things like Sunset Overdrive, a bit of like Splatoon, and it just mixes both with the whole dodgeball element. I thought this just looks.
Is it also like a VR element to it as well, or no? It's just team versus team.
I don't know. Yeah, there's not been that much info on it. So, and we haven't got an exact release date for it either. But I'm assuming when it does come out, it's going to come out on all 3 platforms because they've all said it's coming out this year. But I hope it is more than just multiplayer because hopefully that will have a bit of extra longevity to it. But yeah, fingers crossed. Anybody excited about the Final Fantasy VII remake?
So what is the Final Fantasy VII remake then?
Final Fantasy VII, apparently.
But isn't that what they just did?
That's
They've
what I
just done the remake of Final Fantasy VII.
You're right.
Is that Final Fantasy VIII?
Maybe I need to watch the trailer. Did it say Final Fantasy VIII and I've just misread it? I don't know. Should we run the trailer again and check it?
I think it said 7.
That's what I thought.
I think.
Unless it's a PlayStation 5 version of the remake, possibly.
Maybe. That'd be a bit weird, though. I mean, bring it out in HD and then remake the remake.
Yeah. I don't know. I've just realised I've got rid of the trailer anyway. I've got rid of it off my desktop. But
don't worry about
that. But yeah, we'll have a look at that. That's a bit weird. But yeah, apparently that comes out June the 10th, which maybe then it makes me think that it is.
Maybe it's just a 4K version.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. We'll see. We'll check that out. We'll check that out and report back. But yeah, there's some interesting games there, which look cool. But obviously, as Chris said, and I've said, there's certain games I think people are expecting from that 2.5 hour presentation, such as the new God of War and certain other games, and they weren't talked about at all. And as always, people jumped on social media saying they weren't happy about this, blah, blah, blah. Why we expect this? But they do have to remember that this isn't the only one of these events that they're doing now. With Nintendo Direct, it's the first time they've ever done it online, and they didn't do it last year. But that's a one-off. The PlayStation and Xbox showcases, they've been knocking these out every 6 months or so. Yeah, exactly. So they are going to deliberately hold back the good stuff as far as I'm concerned. I mean, do you guys agree, or do you think they should have teased a little bit more with some of these games?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to hold back a certain amount, haven't you? I mean, they've given away some. Well, they've had some good games recently. Now they've got to give the middle bit. It's just like when you're watching a series, isn't it? You don't have a grand finale in the middle of the series.
Right.
You've got to sort of have your sort of, your normal game.
You got to have something to keep them hooked.
Yeah,
for them to come back to see the rest of it.
Yeah. Otherwise, you get the problem with that. You know, the game that you're not allowed to mention. That was how many times did they show that?
Oh, Futuristic Rocker, sounds fantastic.
That was shown around for what, 3 years, 4 years? Yeah. And it just annoyed people in the end because it was just like, well, when is this game going to come out?
Apparently Christmas 2021 is coming out. It'll be out properly. already work Christmas 2021. Yeah, but no, I see what you mean. I think the other thing to take in consideration is there was a number of games that were announced, and again, we did a big roundup over the course of 2 shows of a lot of games that were coming out for 2021, and already more than half of those games they've said, yeah, because of the pandemic, they ain't coming out till 2022. So I think there's bits of it where they've probably gone, yeah, we're not going to start shouting about this yet because it'd be pointless because the preparation slowed up for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
they'll just annoy people, and then they'll just get a massive backlash.
Yeah,
and that's the last thing they want on something like God of War.
Yeah, exactly. You see what happened when Xbox did their showcase last August, and I'm not doing this to take the piss. They showed Halo off, and loads of people were like, "That looks shit," and then next thing you know, it was pushed back for a year. Yeah. So it's one of them. Ironically, I thought it looks all right, but what do? I don't play Halo, but there you go. But I think there's that thing. They want to avoid that thing where they go, "Oh, we've got to rush this out. We've got to show it," and then people go, "Oh, I'm not buying that crap." But there you go. Some other things that were announced, literally in the last couple of days, is obviously weirdly at the State of Play event, they didn't really talk about any new PSVR games, but they actually announced them separately. Now, they announced 6 games. I've only managed to get my hands on 4 of them, and I'm going to play the trailer for 1, which I'm a little bit like, not sure about this. But they've said there's a game called Song in the Smoke, which is a VR experience, which is kind of like a hunting game. There's one which is called Xerius, which is a JRPG. We talk about JRPGs on this channel until the cows come home. So if you like your JRPGs, there you go. There's also one that has got my interest, but I haven't got the trailer for this, unfortunately. A game called Fracked, which is a first-person shooting and skiing game, but it's also based to do with fracking and the fact that aliens are invading. It sounds absolutely batshit crazy. But I saw literally a 5-second clip. I thought, oh, that looks fun. So that could be something we're talking about the show. But one of the games that they came out about is that they are actually bringing Doom 3 to VR. They're doing a VR edition of Doom 3. Doom 3 is probably the only Doom game I have not played. I'm going to play this trailer. I'm then going to give you my thoughts on this, and I'll see what everyone else thinks. We don't want any scores for this because this isn't out until later in the year. But let's have a look at this trailer and see what everybody thinks. Here we go. Oh, so I didn't see that bit, but it actually says that comes out at the end of the month. I didn't hear that, but that actually comes out on the 29th of this month. So we'll probably be talking about that on the show in a couple of days. It's great that they're doing that, and you kind of get all the extra DLC with it. I honestly think some of the creatures look really flat. The big demon looked like a terrible cardboard cutout on that at the end. I don't know if anyone else picks up on that. I don't know what you guys thought of it.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it literally just looked like they had taken what they already had and just slapped the VR on it. Like they didn't upgrade or update the graphics on it or anything like that. But I mean, I'm not really a huge Doom player myself. Okay. I did get Doom on the Xbox, like the newer one that came out, and I played a little bit of that. One of my closest friends actually plays Doom religiously, all the Dooms.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if he had a VR or something, he would definitely get that. I mean, it looks interesting. Not something I would play, but it looks interesting.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a go because I've never played that game. But I'm right with you. It looks like they ported it straight out, and it just doesn't look right. Chris, what are your thoughts on it?
One thing I would say, motion sickness. You're definitely going to get on that one. Which I do suffer from motion sickness, which I've got VR, which is a bit of a pig. But I wouldn't buy it because I know what's going to happen. But it looks all right, doesn't it? I mean, maybe they was going for that sort of retro-y, sort of put you straight into the game look rather than trying to make it modern, if you know what I mean. Maybe that's what they was trying to do, sort of. Which it's okay, I suppose.
But they did have success with the Doom 2016 version and turned that into VR, and that was quite well received. But this does feel like it's a step back. But I guess it's an older game, so I'm not going to knock it in that. But yeah, we'll have to see. Chances are we could end up talking about it on the show at the end of the month, but we'll see. So there you go. Now that's pretty much all the summary from everything from PlayStation. Now I'm gonna play two more little videos before we wrap up the show, and this was a brilliant one to link in because they also announced nothing to do with PlayStation or PlayStation VR. They also announced another VR game, first-person shooter, based on a very beloved film. However, I have to say, after seeing this trailer, I honestly think this looks like the biggest trash ever. And I want to see what other people think of this. Chris might not be a fan of this because it features not the actual actor.
Oh, I'm walking out now.
No. He's not in it, right? I'm going to say, I'm not going to say this. We'll talk about this in a minute, but I'm not going to say, but I'm going to play this trailer because I was like, oh, this sounds cool. Watched the trailer and was just like, no, just no. So here we go. I'm going to play the trailer. Again, I have no idea when this it might say at the end of the thing. We'll see. This is the trailer for Zombieland Headshot Fever. God help me. Here we go. Let's have a look at this.
Well. Looks like we got ourselves a good old video game trailer. Welcome back to Zombieland. No wandering around, no atmospheric BS.
So many headshots you could cast a movie.
Only the fastest and the deadliest motherfuckers make it onto the leaderboard.
Pop those zombie heads.
Sure, it's got shooting, but this ain't just about brain and Z's. This is a goddamn zombie-killing race. 2 headshots in a row triggers adrenaline mode. It's like bullet time, but better.
I'm ready if you're ready.
So limber up and get ready for wall-to-wall hellfire. Go fast, shoot for the head. Don't suck.
So there you go. Oh my God, that looks awful. That's all I can say. I think
there's so many good shooting games for VR, and then that doesn't cut it really.
First, they take what I think is a very excellent film. I haven't seen the sequel, so I'm not going to comment on the sequel. I love Zombieland. I think it's a great film. They take a beloved franchise. They basically do some very bad character models. I mean, I know you don't like Woody Harrelson, Chris, but Jesus, that first picture of him come up, you probably thought
that was like original PlayStation 1 Tony Hawk's sort of graphics.
Yeah, it looked bad. The voice acting sounds terrible. I mean, the guy that's supposed to be Jesse Eisenberg, they only give him 2 lines because he sounds nothing like him. But the bit that gets me is they go, so the aim of the game is to do this and get as many headshots. And if you get 2 or 3 headshots in a row, it slows down time. It's like bullet time, but better. No, it's bullet time. It's the same thing. So what? They're trying to find ways to say, oh, shit, we made a game that's similar to everything else. And they've gone, I mean, Chris, I'm going to start with you. You don't like Woody Harrelson anyway because you had a
I had a little run-in with him once.
altercation.
But let's not go to that.
No.
Yeah, it's just, to me, that I've got much better games on VR than I forgot what it's called. Blood and Guts, is it? It's the East End gangster one. That's fantastic. Yeah. And it's just really, it handles lovely, and that doesn't look like that's going to handle nice. You can just tell by the way, and it doesn't look nice. It doesn't look believable in any way. Nah, thumbs down.
Yeah. King, I could see you smirking when we what are your thoughts on this?
That has to be like, I would play Farming Simulator. Like, if I had to play Farming Simulator for a whole week, I would play that shit over playing that Headshot Fever for sure.
Oh dear.
Hell, I'd do that in VR. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I could see. It's a bit of a cash grab. I don't know why they're doing it now because the film came out over 2 years ago, so it just seems really badly timed. They brought a game out to tie in with the last film a couple of months after, and that was like a above the head hack and slash shooter game.
That looked okay, actually.
And that was okay. I don't know what they were thinking about this, and I'd be embarrassed if I put that trailer out because the game just looks dreadful. It truly does look dreadful. I don't know. Maybe people just think, people will go for it if they like the films. I don't know. I'd be embarrassed if I put that out. But yeah, so look out for that one at some point. We're gonna play our last video of the show before we wrap up. As you know, we sometimes play movie trailers for films that are related to games. Now, this one is a bit of a tenuous link because it's not actually based on a game, but I wouldn't be surprised that it would be based on a game because it's actually based on a Tom Clancy novel. And obviously Tom Clancy has done loads of games, everything Rainbow Six, Division, you name it. There's tons of games that he's done. So we thought that this would be appropriate. He has done a film that's coming out on Amazon Prime. I'm going to play the trailer. We'll have a chat about it. And then we'll see whether potentially they do turn this into one of the Tom Clancy games. So here we go. This film is coming out on Amazon Prime, as I say, very soon. This is called Without Remorse. It does have a few John Wick vibes about it. But let's watch the trailer and see what we think. Here we go. There you go, folks. So that's Without Remorse. Now, it stars Michael B. Jordan, Guy Pearce, and Jamie Bell. I say it's based on a Tom Clancy novel. What do we think of that? Do we think that's something that's going to be great, or just your standard action flick? What do you reckon? I'll start with King first.
I don't think that would actually be turned into a game, but the movie itself actually looks very, very entertaining. Definitely something I would watch, but I don't think it's gonna be something that they'd actually turn into a game.
Okay, Chris, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I'll definitely give that a go. It's like the sort of 21st century Rambo, isn't it? With a bit more, it's got a bit more intellect though. Killing everything, but it looks like he's killing everything, so it's all good.
Yeah,
right.
I'd say the start of it, the trailer, is very John Wick. People breaking his house, killing his wife. There's that, but then it shifts away from that, which hopefully is the good thing because there's too many films that are now like John Wick and that. The only bit that gets me at the end is like, I thought he was setting the car on fire to blow it up, but then he sets it on fire. And I'm a bit like, okay, interesting. Obviously that got nothing left to lose, so I'm just going to go in there because no one else is going to be crazy enough to go in there and get the guy out of the car. So could be interesting.
Old Tom Clancy though, he probably knows, looked out for the size. Oh yeah, cars don't actually explode, and But so that's probably why he's done it, because of the realism. Cup of tea's turned up.
You just got your cup of tea. All right. Do you know what? You could have done that better. I was going to say, because you want a nice cup of tea in a decent mug, you can get
Yes, I do. I'll have to buy one.
There you go. Available now from my store. Plug. There you go. Perfect thing. But yeah, I'd watch it. I'd give it a go. I'd watch it. I like Michael B. Jordan. I've seen him in a number of things. The only film I didn't like him in was that Fantastic Four remake. I thought just generally that was pretty bad.
It was a bad movie.
But everything else I've seen him in, I think he's been pretty damn good. Thank you, Mia, for plugging the merch store. Thank you. Appreciate that. Get your mugs. Get your cup of tea and your coffee in a mug. Go on, that's what you want. Get a mag mug now. But yeah, so that's coming out in April. Check it out if you've got Amazon Prime. That's coming out. Obviously, if we get any more film trailers that are either tied in loosely with game franchises or the actual goes like the Mortal Kombat one or Monster Hunter or a few of the others that we've talked about, even the Willy's Wonderland, which was basically a complete knockoff of Five Nights at Freddy's with Nicolas Cage, by which that actually came out a couple of weeks ago. So if you wanted to check that out, go and have a look at that film. Apparently, it's absolutely batshit crazy. So it's worth checking out. I would like to thank our guests tonight. Thank you so much to King for being here, and especially coming in at short notice. Again, check out his Twitch channel. He streams nearly every day. Go give him a follow after this show, or go give him a follow now. I don't care if you leave the show early. Give him a follow. That's all that matters. Do it. You know you want to. So appreciate it, and thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for asking me.
Hopefully you'll come back. We haven't scared you off. You'll come back in a couple of months.
Oh, for sure.
Brilliant. And we'll find a way to get our own back on Professor Stork. We'll find a game that we'll get. Bus Simulator or something.
I mean, I know she's going through a lot right now, but she's going to be working on getting back into the stream scene here in the next couple months.
Nice.
So.
We'll find a way to really welcome her back by finding a game she truly hates. Yeah.
I'm going to start doing my research right after this is over.
It's probably a good
thing about
an hour ago, but she'll probably watch it. But that'll get me into trouble. Oh dear. And again, I want to say a big thank you because Dave unfortunately couldn't be here tonight due to work complications. So Chris, thank you so much for standing in as my co-host tonight. Thank you for being here.
No problem, anytime.
There you go. And we will get you back as a guest on the show very soon. So that just leaves me to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in during the show. Thank you to Pixie for the raid earlier. And thank you also to Professor, also known now as Milk Oracle, for the extra follow. It's always greatly appreciated. So thank you so much. Mia says, whoop, whoop, go, Captain Chris. So there you go. I am back tomorrow with Sea of Thieves. We are continuing that thing that you do on that game that everybody loves. Not really. It's the second week of the Festival of Fishing.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I know.
Oh dear, I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah, I know. You're getting off lightly. We are fishing tunes. That is correct. We are doing the second week of the Festival of Fishing. And week 3 starts at the end of the week, so we'll be doing more of that as well. So that's at 9 p.m. UK time. Tomorrow I am back on. Thank you to everyone again. Wherever you are in the world, have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening. And we will be back with another TNGC same time next week on Tuesday. So thank you very much and take care. Good night.
Bye.
Peace.